Come to the stage right now. Put your hands together for Kevin!
Welcome to the Unfunny Kevin Show. I am your host. Happy Friday, May 23rd. How the fuck are you? I hope you guys had a nice week. I hope you've enjoyed. We've been here every week for you fuckos. Every Friday at 5 a.m. PST and 8 a.m. EST. And I want to thank everyone that's listening and supporting the show. 5 stars in the Apple Podcast Store goes a long way. Write a little comment for us. 5 stars on Spotify. All the episodes on Spotify have a fucking, it's like a comment thing. So you can actually, I mean, not that I want mentally ill people to congregate in comment sections, but if you wanted to, the option is there and you can just enjoy commenting and speaking to one another. It's also, I think I mentioned this before, it's on YouTube now, so the audio's on you. It's all crazy and everything's everywhere for some reason. So whatever, I can't, it makes it a little bit harder to track everything, but it's fine. And I'm going to do, so just so you guys know, there is going to be, I've worked on, in secrecy, I've worked on like a video component for this shit so that the podcast will have video. But also, I'm going to do some funny, like just some goofy shit in the studio, which is my room in my home. So I'm going to have like some weird, I might have like segments where I bring people on. And, thank you for fucking listening last week with the guest. We did have a good time. It's silly. It's all jokes. It's not serious. It's not real. This is a comedy show. If you haven't figured it out, it's okay. You don't have to listen. But yeah, so we're going to do a bunch of new shit. I'm very excited. And I'm still kind of hashing through the website, but unfunnykevin.com. So thank you. Beginning with new markets, which is a fun thing that I kind of realized on the last show when I pulled up the like platform that hosts the podcast. It's kind of, it's funny. So there's Paramount, California. Shout out. I mean, that's cool because that's like local. Shout out to Paramount, California. Whoever's listening, email us, TheUnfunnyKevinShow@gmail.com. Maybe I will send you something. Isn't that nice? Nashville, Tennessee. We got a new one. We had listeners there before, but there's a new IP address. Grafton, Wisconsin. Shout out to you guys. Bloomington, Illinois. And then Wilmington, Delaware. Very good, very fun, very interesting. Very, very white. Or not. Who knows? Go ahead and email us, TheUnfunnyKevinShow@gmail.com. Perhaps something will happen. Today's the day, folks. We've been collecting calls and text messages, and this is not the last show of the month, but we are going to do you'll get one more show with worst coworkers, and then we'll change out the prompt. But you know the hotline. You know it by now. 424-244-9599. Call or text anonymously your worst coworker story. Worst coworker. Bro, if you want to send in like just the worst work experience, even maybe the worst interaction with a customer, I don't know. We'll morph this shit. But so we'll kick off with last week because we got shit to move through. Last week was interesting. I got sick for a little bit at some point. Everything's fine. And then I had a bunch of shit going on just between work and recording the show. And then on the weekend, I had an interesting, not the weekend, my bad, Monday. I took the day off. I went away over the weekend to San Luis Obispo, which is, idyllic and quiet, and there's wine and, it's great. It's great. It's a nice spot. So we went out there and fucking did all that stuff. And then Monday, I had a good, kind of an interesting experience, both in that it was funny, but also kind of profound. But I went to, my pops lives out in North Hollywood. So I went out to see my dad. And it was kind of funny because, I talked to him and we're cool and cordial and yada, yada, yada. But, I've been in therapy. Shout out to therapy for any folks that are like, it's weak, it's fucking, you're retarded and don't have to listen, but it's good for you. I'm telling you right now. because it helped me kind of come to this realization. Like, I think, like, because I grew up with a father who was an alcohol or is an alcoholic. It's not like it's like a disease or whatever, right? Shit never really goes away per se. But I took him to a diner, and it's actually funny. Shout out NoHo Diner. It's one of my favorite places. Coincidentally, it's one of the places that the first like month I decided to do stand up, I actually did an open mic. I think it was like in their fucking parking lot. This was a while ago. It might have. This was like before COVID. I don't even know if they do it anymore. But I should actually look into that. But anyway, the diner is really cool. It's old as fuck. And it's not too far from where my pops is at. And so I went, I picked him up. We went to have food. First of all, the waitress, Jesus Christ. I think that the problem is North Hollywood's pretty fucked up. Like, I don't know if it's like worse than 10 years ago or if it's better. There's like, quote unquote, the arts district. But there's a lot of like, they have those like homeless dudes that aren't on fent. You know what I mean? Like when you're on the fentanyl, like they kind of like nod off and they're just kind of like obstructions in the crosswalk or what. You know, it's like almost like an obstacle course. That's not the type of homeless, at least that we saw in NoHo. The type of homeless in NoHo, and this is why I can't blame the old Mexican lady who was our waitress for being, you know, put off by my father and I's presence and unsettled or whatever. But yeah, there's like they have those homeless guys that just scream, and they're very active and fit. They always have an animal, you know what I mean? They always have a dog. They're always running around and making loud, you know, noises and all that shit. So I think she was just like in shock that two people on like a Monday at 3 weren't there just like asking for ice water or whatever. So she was like, "Hi, how are you? How are you? Okay, yeah. Hi, hello." And my dad's like, "Hi, honey. You know, I'll take this, that, and the third." And I was like, "I'll take this." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And she's like, "All right, can I take our menus?" And I was like, "Sure." Like, there's no one there, brother. It's 3:00. You know, and she took our menus away. My father and I were like having a conversation, and then she comes back. She comes back into frame, like one of those like pushy waitresses where it's like, "Okay, are you done? Oh yeah, no rush. Can I take your water away?" Like they're just like and it's like, hey, there's one homeless guy at the counter who looks very eager to talk. Why don't you go over there? But it was just like very like, get the fuck out of here. The thing is, I paid $40 for a fucking garden salad and like a sandwich, and they're treating me like I'm the homeless fucking dude that's occupying the restaurant. Like, whatever the fuck. So anyway, I took my dad. We had a good time. We chopped it up, talked about fucking a bunch of crazy shit. But what's interesting is my dad in particular, as an alcoholic, has a lot of, you know, trauma from being fucking homeless and trauma from fucking rehabs and psych wards and all the crazy shit and jail and, you know, prison. So there's a lot to fucking unpack. And I kind of realized that that's kind of the one benefit of therapy too. If you need it, is like just realizing that not everything is just, it's going to be solved in an evening. You know what I mean? Like deeper shit takes a longer time. There's things, it's a process, bro. Everything's a fucking process. But there is a tool that I call the ladder. It's like the ladder of trauma, right? So like, it's helpful, and I'm only sharing it to hopefully help you, in that if you hate someone or you have a horrible relationship with like your father or your mother or your uncle or whatever, whoever it is in your life, because life, you know, is short. So like if you want to kind of work through that shit, it is kind of helpful to go up the ladder and go, all right, so this guy's an alcoholic, erratic behavior, fucking bipolar, all the things. Okay, cool. Why? Right? Now, the problem is people that are fucking hella empathetic and have sympathy and all that shit, and you're like emotionally in tune, that could be a way to make an excuse for someone. And this is where it gets fucked up. You cannot use the ladder of trauma to excuse someone's like shitty behavior. And by the way, brother, it doesn't matter if your pops is on fent or whatever the thing is. This could be applied to fucking, you have a boyfriend who's a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's helpful in some ways to have a full comprehensive understanding. And by using that, all right, so how did he end up this way? All right, so it was X, Y, and Z and that guy. Ooh, that guy. So it was his dad. Oh, that guy's a motherfucker. Well, then we could keep applying the ladder of trauma. And then eventually it's like, oh, fuck. Like, you've made an excuse for every shitty thing someone has done. And that's fucked up. You should never do that. But like, to have a better understanding of trauma that kind of shaped someone, you know, is important. And it's not that having that understanding is a magic excuse for behavior or like shortcomings, but it's just a method. It's a method to determine, number one, why the fuck are they the way they are, right? And then more importantly, and this is why I'm telling you motherfuckers, more importantly, for you, like, the strongest point is this shit has nothing to do with you. You pay the price in terms of pain that it could inflict on you 100%. But that's why you deserve a reason, you know, and this is not a good exercise in trying to, you know, deeply forgive someone. It's just that it helps to kind of have a map to someone's insanity, right? Unless they're, you know, they're just completely fucking insane and there's no root cause. But it works particularly well with addicts, you know, and with that, let's pull up our first clip, folks. We just got this sent in. All right. What is this shit?
What if life was better before the internet?
I just sit on my phone all day, lose sleep.
Almost half of Gen Z says they would prefer a world without the internet. But you still like it.
I love it.
Life is not as fun as it used to
I have
be.
nothing better to
Do
do.
you think life was better before the internet?
Absolutely.
Facts, yes.
Really think about what
I'm
we're
this old
doing
Indian
anymore
guy.
because we can just look it up.
We are very stupid.
All we know is iPhone, Takis, and cheese.
It's not just ChatGPT. There's so many AI websites.
We were promised the internet would connect us, but we're more lonely than ever. No one ever taught us how to unplug. Britain's talking about doing a 10 p.m. curfew.
The laws come to control the people. Have to make the law for the social media. How to use it.
Helps, but I do think that I would personally want a world without social media.
Okay. All right. We've been talking about this, folks, with the light phones and the fucking social media and all the bullshit that, you know, governs people mentally. So the article's here. So this is actually interesting, right? So they're saying that young folks, young bucks, younger than us, the youngest of the young, are saying they want a world without internet. And that's funny because all the streamers and the Kai Cenats and the fucking brain rot and the TikTok, it's proving to be really toxic. Surprise! I've been saying it for fucking ever. All right, so this is in The Guardian. I don't even know how old this is, but someone sent this over. It's 20. Oh, no, this is from this year. Okay. Almost half of young people would prefer a world without internet, UK study finds. Half of 16 to 21-year-olds support digital curfew, and nearly 70% feel worse after using social media. Jesus. Well, research reveals that nearly 70% feel worse about themselves after spending time on social media. 50% would support a digital curfew. Look, here's the thing. All right, look, I recognize, obviously, as a dumb phone user and a light phone user and all that shit and the dumbing my iPhone down, obviously this shit is nuts, you know, and it's particularly damaging to kids. I don't know if we need to do this curfew thing. I'm not like 100% on board with, like, you know, you can't seem to handle your smart rectangle. At 10 p.m., I will turn off every rectangle in the land. I don't know about that. That's kind of weird. I don't like that. I don't want Trumpito turning that shit off. It's very strange. But I do think there is something fucking wrong, you know, especially with that younger generation. I've talked about it on the show before. Like, the phone was just a phone at one time. Now the phone's a computer. It's your fucking fuck buddy. You attach it to a sex toy and it fucks you. It's fucking weird, dude. It's getting out of hand, right? Am I crazy? All right. So the other one is, this is CNBC. It says, let's see. Interesting. Okay, let's see.
Gen Zs are now taking classes on how to make phone calls. So it's called Telephobia, and it's
This is nuts.
fear or anxiety around making and receiving telephone calls. 75% of them say they never answer a phone
75%. That means you get 4 Gen Zs in a room. 3 of them won't answer the phone.
call. But this is causing problems for when employers reach out for interviews or Gen Zs have to make a phone call to make a dentist appointment or something. And many students struggle with phone interviews because they haven't had the chance to practice. So now workshops are being held to help them feel more confident with students practicing everyday calls like making doctor's appointments. One career advisor is suggesting people practice with like a note card with like cheat notes, choosing a quiet
Okay, I'm going to teach you how to have a phone call. I'm going to teach you right now. Bring, bring. Bring, bring. Oh, fuck. Oh, my goodness. Oh, shit. It says spam risk. Bring, bring. Answer. Good morning. How are you, Mrs. Melody? I'm good, thanks. How's your car insurance? Oh, fuck. This Indian man asked me how my car insurance is. Oh, my God. My car insurance is good? Great. Can I have your social security? Do you A, give him your social security? B, hang up? C, tell him something funny and drag this conversation out and do what's called a prank call? D, block him on your phone promptly after hanging up? Bruh, the world is your oyster. Do as you need.
and using breathing exercises to calm the nerves,
This
reminding
is fucking
students
fake.
that they are
You
in
can't be... What?
charge of the phone call, and telling
You're in charge of the phone call?
students, quote, if this telephone call is something that I do not want, I have the choice to end the phone call, and that gives me power.
Why are they talking about phone calls like it's rape? Wait, what? Okay, this is the real article. All right, Gen Z is battling phone anxiety, and they're taking telephobia courses to learn the lost art of a call. There was once a time when picking up a phone call was the main mode of communication, but now with endless choices available, some tech-savvy Gen Zs, aka retards, are consumed with anxiety by the ringing of a phone. Generation Z, born between 97 and 2012, are struggling with telephobia, a relatively recent phenomena, describing people who fear phone calls, according to Liz Baxter, a careers advisor at Nottingham College, a UK-based school for pupils aged 16 to 18 and older. Telephobia is a fear of anxiety around making and receiving telephone calls, Baxter told CNBC, make it in an interview. They've, Gen Z, just simply not had the opportunity for making and receiving calls. There's no way this is real, bro. It is not the main function of their phones these days. Okay, yeah, they can do anything on the phone, but we automatically default to texting, voice notes, and anything except actually using a telephone for its original intended purpose. And so people lost that skill. Baxter said that many of the college's older pupils are expected to take telephone interviews, right, as a pre-screening for job applications, and were failing at that hurdle. Oh my God. This is why motherfuckers are trying to get those flip phones now, right? Are they trying to practice with just making calls? Because that's pretty fire. I don't know. I'll help you. Bro, if you're struggling with this, I am the perfect person. TheUnfunnyKevinShow at gmail.com. Let me know. Or text us or call us. Call the hotline. I'll talk to you. We'll figure it out. In a class of 25 to 30 students, I would imagine at least 3/4 of them will experience and admit to anxiety about not using the telephone. The college's telephobia seminar, bro, put me in the seminar now. Put me in the seminar. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit everything I'm doing and do telephobia seminars. The session involves practicing a series of oh, fuck. Practicing a series of scenarios where you have to make a phone call. For example, calling the doctor to make an appointment, calling in sick to work, and other everyday scenarios. The pupils are expected to sit back to back to mimic a regular phone call where they cannot see the person on the other end, and they practice by using scripts. Baxter said attending just one session tends to boost pupils' confidence because it demystifies how phone calls work. It demystifies. Brother, you cannot fucking use demystify and phone calls in the same sentence. Unless you're severely mentally ill. She said the rise of telephobia is partly blamed on the COVID-19 pandemic. Uh-oh. You gotta stay in the home. Pick up your phone. I'm calling. R.I.P. Joe. I know he's sick. My president. During which young people became incredibly isolated. If they've missed out 2 years worth of social interaction and ebb and flow, then that obviously plays into how they're feeling about being in social situations and in larger contexts, especially when they're feeling uncomfortable. They think you're laughing at them, okay? And what's wrong with that? Gen Z's anxiety around responding to phone calls stems from a fear of the unknown. Welcome to being human, according to Baxter. They associate the ringing phone with fear, she said. I don't know who's on the end of it. I don't know how to deal with it. I just did the exercise for you. A U-Switch survey of 2,000 UK adults in 24 found that almost a quarter of 18 to 34-year-olds will never pick up a phone call. Around 61% of the age group would prefer to just message rather than take an audio call. 50% of 18 to 24-year-olds think an out-of-the-blue call means bad news, while 48% prefer to communicate using social media and a third prefer voice messages. Okay, these are just... Gen Z is concerned how they sound on calls, and they have no visual feedback to confirm how they're doing. Okay. Take back the... I can't even read... You guys can look this up. This is like... Thank you for sending this in. It's very funny, but I mean, it's just like... It's fucking ridiculous. All right, let's give you a quick break, and then we got to wrap this up. Folks, it's that time. It's Memorial Day weekend, and you're ready to fucking unwind, barbecue, and smoke crack. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need crack anymore. No, you don't. No, you don't. Put it down. Timmy's watching. All right? And Aunt Maribel is really upset. Okay, so how do you mitigate the BBQ? Well, they're sick of the crack. They're sick of you behaving this way. But what are you going to do, Jim? What are you going to do? You're going to go to itsoklahomas.com and buy some relief now. Buy it now. CBD is the name of the game. You do not need CRACK. You don't. But how do you get a disc? Here's what you do. It's a 42-day money-back guarantee for 40,000 happy customers. California-grown CBD with the highest quality papers and materials to smoke. It's Oklahoma's, folks. Oklahoma smokes right now. You get 15% off your order. That's 15%. I don't know how else to describe this discount to you. When you use the code UNFUNNYKEVIN, Unfunny Kevin at checkout. Be sure to use the code. Give yourself 15% back, but also support the show that is here for you every Friday. Fucko. Thank you. We talked about it earlier in the episode, folks. There's kids that can't make phone calls. Don't let your little Lucy end up like these kids that can't. They think that getting a phone call is akin to rape. How do we fix it? The light phone. Enter stage left, brother. The light phone is the only way to prevent little Lucy from ending up like that. Don't give her the fucking rectangle with the 8K UHD display to play the Fortnite. All right? She doesn't need it. That is the wrong method. Yes, I'm teaching you how to parent with no children. Because I know how this works, folks. I've seen it. Pick up a light phone now using the link in our bio and support the Unfunny Kevin Show by making a purchase today. Get your kids off the... How many times do I have to tell you about this? We have data in the episode to support this. It's like one large light phone ad at this point. The light phone will never have a browser. It will never have an email client. It will never have all the things that are distracting to take your time and turn it into their money. All those advertisers. All right? So please support the show and support Light Phone. Thank you. New sponsor, folks. We're talking about, of course, SHINNINGU. Shiningu has jewelry. I can't do that song. HOTT, whatever that fucking... It's fine. Shiningu. That's what we call it here, folks. Shining with two N's. All right? Shiningu is the epitome of luxury. It is jade shining like stars, mysterious and dreamlike, amidst the interweaving of light and shadow, quietly emanating a charming charm. Folks, if you want to get 15% off your first order of double circle jade, beautiful quality jewelry straight from Shenzhen, you need to use the code UNFUNNYKEVIN 15%, Unfunny Kevin 15%, to get 15% off your first order. So please visit the link in the bio and use the code Unfunny Kevin 15% to get 15% off your order. Thank you, Shening Yu. And now back to the show. All righty, folks, we got a good one for you. So we've been collecting these worst coworker stories. We're going to start off. The first one is it's a long text thread. So we went ahead, just like we did with the other texts. If you text this show anonymously, then we just end up patching in the call using AI. So, without further ado, let's check this shit out. All right, let's see.
My worst coworker. I have a messed up story. Here it goes. I was a manager
Already excited.
at T-Mobile a million years ago. Ultimately, managers aren't in charge of hiring, they have some say. But upper management at this specific T-Mobile retailer was in charge of filling the available spots in each location.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to my surprise, we got a new hire. Someone I hadn't heard about prior. Some punk 18-year-old, brain-dead Gen Z guy. English is his first language, but he can't even put a proper sentence together.
Some punk 18-year-old. Gen Z.
This kid would constantly mess up, couldn't be counted on to open or close the store, and if we put him on a middle shift, he would stand around, listen to his iPod, and bullshit all day just to collect a check.
I respect this kid.
We're going to give him a fictitious name here because it sounds better than his actual name, Alfredo. One night,
Alfredo?
I put Alfredo and me on closing
What a great fictitious name, by the way.
shift. An hour till closing, a woman walks in. To describe her is simple. Middle Eastern, Latina, hit it and quit it type. She came in complaining about her bill.
Hold on. A Middle Eastern Latina hit it and quit it type. I love this. This is insane. Hold on.
And was also committing fraud Middle Eastern, Latina, hit it and quit it type. She came in complaining about her bill, gave us her whole life breakdown, and was also committing fraud trying to get more iPhones to
We know those Middle Eastern Latinas with the fraud.
sell. Working at a cellular store, we audit accounts every time we log into them to see if we can upsell. No surprise here.
That's true. They do audit accounts. I remember when I worked at Verizon, that's what we did.
Lots of issues with her account, red flags everywhere. Basically, she couldn't do anything but pay her bills. No changes whatsoever, so I had enough. I told Chicken Alfredo to take over.
Chicken Alfredo.
I went to the break room to start closing procedures. After about 20 minutes into the procedures, I started hearing Gen Z Alfredo spitting game. I think I forgot to mention.
Gen Z Alfredo spitting game is a phenomenal cluster of words.
She was probably 7 to 10 years older than babyface Fredo for months.
Why does he hate Fredo so much?
I've been trying to write this kid up to have him fired, I know.
Okay, well, are you the bad coworker or is Fredo? Because Fredo's just trying to sell some iPads and get his dick sucked is what it sounds like. Let's see.
Real hater. I will say I don't give a fuck. The kid was stupid and annoying to work with. As soon as I started hearing the flirting, I started an audio recording of them.
No.
You could hear Mushroom Head Fredo saying, I can tweak this and that. Lower your bill, free iPad. Anything you can imagine. Then he said, what are you going to do for me though? She replied, what do you want?
Oh,
he then
shit.
started off saying, give me a kiss. She says, your boss is in the other room. He says, he doesn't care. She kisses him. Then he says, let's go to my car after this and fuck. She agrees. I'm over here.
Let's go to my car after this and fuck.
My worst car had. Started hearing the flirting. I real hater. I will say I don't give a fuck. The kid was flirting. I started an audio recording of them. You could hear Mushroom Head Fredo saying, I can tweak this and that. Lower your bill, free iPad. Anything you can imagine. Then he said, what are you going to do for me though? She replied, what do you want? He then started off saying, give me a kiss. She says, your boss is in the other room. He says, he doesn't care. She kisses him. Then he says, let's go to my car after this and fuck. She agrees. I'm over here geeking like, I just got this dude fired. I tell my superior, and he is in agreement. My superior and I both made a dumbass mistake. We didn't know the law, laughing my fucking ass off. I got fired due to the recording.
No
and he got
fucking
demoted.
way.
I'm pretty sure he left after getting demoted. I guess just know your rights. Either way, it was good to get fired from a dead-end job and start a real career, silver lining there. That's my story of Sauce Fredo and some 30.
Oh my god, that's my story of Sauce Fredo and a thoughty. Oh my god, bro. Honestly, that's fucking insane. Look, I understand the snitching and the recording. Because especially if you're in California, you couldn't record people without their consent or some shit. There's a lot of, you know what I mean? So it does depend on where you are. I think Nevada is loose on that law or some shit. I don't know, bro. There's the Taylor Swift law, right? Or the Kim K law where she recorded her, but it was on a Snapchat. I don't know. There's weird ways to get around it, I suppose. But, bro, that is brutal. Having a babyface Fredo, Chicken Alfredo, try to fuck the Mexican Armenian girl and then, or Middle Eastern girl or whatever, in exchange for an iPad. I mean, it's kind of insane. And you're right. That is the grounds to give someone the fucking boot. But it's just absolutely hilarious that it boils down to you fucked up and you're the one that ends up getting fired. Oh, shit. That is good. That is fucking good. Please, folks, as you can tell, these are getting crazier and crazier. We got more for you next week. 424-244-9599. Call or text the hotline. Tell us your worst work experience, worst coworker experience, whatever. We'll play it on the show. It's all anonymous. No fucking fear there. And leave a voicemail. Don't have phone anxiety. Fuck your telephobia. Jesus. And email us at TheUnfunnyKevinShow@gmail.com. UnfunnyKev on Instagram. You can send the articles and all the things you want on the show there. And thanks for supporting us. 5 stars in the podcast store, Apple Podcast, Spotify, yada, yada. You know the whole thing. UnfunnyKevin.com for episodes and YouTube, I guess it's on you. Go subscribe there. Eventually the video will probably be there is what I'm thinking. So unless shit happens, I don't know. So thank you guys for supporting the show. I appreciate it. I will be back next Monday. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Buy a light phone, buy Shinning You, and buy a little CBD. And have a good party, all right? All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.